We know that women, we have so many different shapes. And I think that's something people come in all the time. And I'm sure you hear it too, where they say, oh, my breasts are so weird. They're shaped like this.
Do you know what type of bras you need based on your individual breast shape or breast situation, whatever you want to call it? Like, mine are, and they're like, yeah, this one right here, this one's my crazy one, and all sorts of stuff.
She's got a mind of her own.
Yeah,
Girl, like we see this every day, all the
yeah.
time. There wouldn't be so many different types of bras and so many different sizes available if we didn't all need different things. So
The other thing that they hate a lot that comes up with the bra fitting is the back fat and the underarm fat.
the
Yeah.
back fat.
Yeah. Well, who's looking back
It's
there?
like when you go and you get a new bra, people notice
And they're
fullness,
here.
and you might need an F cup just because your breast tissue goes all the way out to the side and not necessarily forward. A USJ cup, I'm going to look like a double D to you when
Right.
we have people that come in and they're like, I hate my breasts. I wish I could just cut them off right now. Like, okay, if I had something like that that caused me pain for 60 years of my adult life, I would hate my breasts too. We need to really pick what's best for us and not constantly be trying to make it look like whatever that advertisement is. The advertisement is meant to sell to you. When women are happier, the world's a happier place, right? Because like we run this stuff. And to me, that's the win.
Let's talk about breasts.
Let's talk about you and me
Let's talk about all the good things.
and all the bad things.
Welcome to another episode of Boob Tube. I'm your best friend, Jaleesa. As we enter this new year, this amazing year 2025, there's so much in store. But when it comes to the store, you get some bras out of there, right? But do you know what type of bras you need based on your individual breast shape or breast situation, whatever you want to call it, whatever you have going on? Do you know how to shop for those bras, what it is that you're looking for? Especially those that are online shopping, you might not know. Or maybe you have a spouse or a significant other that is shopping for you. Do they know? So, as we enter this new year, we want to continue to educate our guests, of course, and we want our guests to know exactly what it is that they need to look for when they're shopping for bras based on the shapes of their breasts. But before we get into that, let's see what they had to say on BoobTube on the Move.
What style or type of bra do you find to be the best for your breast?
Cacique,
Oh, the brand.
the brand.
Yes. What about like maybe certain type of cut or design?
You know what? I'm really, to be honest with you, I'm really not into the cuts and designs. It's really about what fits and what's on sale.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
I really don't have like
A
a
preference,
preference.
just as
No.
long as it fits
As
and
long
feels
as it
right.
fits and yeah, I look right in my clothes.
All right. Can you name a certain type or style of bra?
Sports bra.
Okay. What style or type of bra do you find to be the best for your breast?
I definitely like something with high support.
Okay.
And then I sometimes they come like the Meemaw bras, like the kind of lace ones that kind of don't really have any like additional padding or anything.
Right.
I like those too. Sometimes they work for me, but not. But I definitely like the full support ones.
Okay.
Okay, so those were very interesting answers, and those were some that we could have expected, of course, but a lot of us really just don't know. So I think it's time that we hear from the expert. So let's go ahead and dive into that with our amazing guests that we have joining us today and see all the information that they can give us in regards to our breast shapes and the bras that we get for them. Okay, joining today, we have Frieda. She is a bra educator and she does amazing work. So it's a good time to have her on here to have her give us some great information about our breasts as we enter this new year. So welcome, Frieda.
Thank
So
you so much for having me. I love being in this community and just being able to discuss and share this knowledge with everybody.
exactly. Okay, so first let's get into how did you get into this path. How did you get into your career of working with breast at all?
Just by accident, complete accident. I was in college. Everybody needs a job in college. So I'd actually started working at an apparel store, and they said, you're great at what you do, but there were no opportunities, and I needed to make a little bit more money. So I got referred over to the lingerie division. We all know as Victoria's Secret. So that was the very original introduction into what I do. I went to Soma from there. Kind of just dabbled into anything that had to do with women's bodies. So I've done a lot of like bridal formal wear, and then onto top drawer now. So it's just been this very like organic path that has um, just changed and grown, and I've just accepted what has come before me to really do what I enjoy doing.
I like that. It's fun. I mean, the path it'll pave its way out for you, you know?
Right. If you love what you do, like the opportunities just present themselves.
Exactly. Okay, so one of the things, and even someone recently was trying to describe, they were like, oh, well, this specific cut of bra, this one really works for me. I don't know what it's called. They're like, is it a demi, a balconette, a this, a that, a this, a that? So you have people that know some of the names of some styles of bras, but then don't really know what they look like, which isn't a surprise. It's a
Right.
lot in this injury industry. It's a lot of different things to know in this industry. So I guess could you start by telling us what are some of those popular bra styles and names that people can
Absolutely.
reference and keep in their head and know?
Well, there's so many nuances, and it's hard for people because we hear a lot of these terms, right? So, people will tend to use the term balconette, right? So, like,
Mhm.
that is your very kind of straight across cut with your wider set straps.
Mhm.
Really great for creating that top volume.
Mhm.
But people don't realize like you can have a lower cut balconette, but you can also have something that is in a cut and sew with lace with really full stretch cups. So
Right.
we hear that term a lot, and we hear a lot of terms that kind of get misused a little bit. Sometimes somebody will tell me, "I want a balconette" when they mean I want a demi, but a demi can also be a balconette. So like we know all these things kind of coexist, right? And I think at the end of the day, like I'll try to avoid sometimes using too many terms with clients because it's just about like getting the fit right,
Right.
right?
Yeah. And then
I
it's
don't know
like,
if that answered
no,
any
because it's
question.
like it's not their industry. So
Right.
it's not something that it's not a lot of it isn't information you'll really hold on to. Maybe if
No.
it's certain things about just like how to properly care for your bra and things like
Right.
that. But some of it's like they might just be a little inquisitive,
For
but
sure.
for the most part, a lot of it's like it's a lot going on here. Like,
It is. It is. And you
yeah.
know what I feel like is I'm really big about before we get you in a bra, we're going to consult and kind of ask questions about what you're looking for.
Mhm.
Because sometimes we'll get a client that like we love good lift and separation, right? Like
Mhm.
we live for that. And when you're introducing someone to proper fit for the first time, they'll say, I want lift and separation. And so you will do that and give them that beautiful center gore that keeps them in their separate cups, and they'll kind of get this look on their face and like, I really, really like my breasts more
Yeah.
together. And you're like, okay, so we can still do lip separation and get you like a lovely plunge to give you a little
Right.
bit more cleavage too. So it's funny because when I first got into it, I would spend a lot of time with people like being confused. Like I'm confused as a fitter, you're confused as a client. So let's just do a little clarification because you can tell me that you want a full coverage bra, right? And maybe like I'll give you like a lovely like spacer t-shirt bra. And again, this is made for like 100% coverage. Like you're going to be completely in that cup, separated, encapsulated, but really you want kind of more of like a little bit more fun and sexy full coverage, like the
Mhm.
Panache Envy, which is one of my favorite bras.
Yeah.
And you'll get all in that cup, but you'll still have some lovely top volume up here.
Right. Yeah, that definitely happens for sure. So I can only imagine.
Yes.
Okay. So, of course, we can't ignore this beautiful chart that you have back there.
Ew.
You
My 5 minute drawing.
introduced to us. Well, yeah, you can still see it for sure.
Okay, awesome.
So maybe not so much the words necessarily, but that's what.
Yeah, I can kind of go through. I mean, so by all means, we know that women, we have so many different shapes. And I think that's something people come in all the time. And I'm sure you hear it too, where they say, oh, my breasts are so weird. They're shaped like
Mhm.
this. But they're used to seeing people on the red carpet and, in pictures and on Instagram, where a lot of these people have like super round, super full, very together. But the truth is, there wouldn't be so many different types of bras and so many different sizes available if we didn't all need different things. So, by all means, there's way more shapes than this, but this is kind of what I encounter a lot on a daily basis. Were you going to say something?
No, I just said the majority.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. This is what most people think of is round.
right.
Again, very circular, super symmetrical, always with the top volume. And that's what I say when people come in and they want that Jessica Rabbit look. They
Yeah,
want that very corseted and up there. But the truth is, for a majority of my time, I'm kind of dealing with more, I would say I see teardrop shaped breasts a lot, where it's going to kind of curve a little more at the bottom. So there's a lot more fullness at the bottom of the breast tissue, and even kind of a little bit like a lower set kind of nipple or apex area.
yeah,
And for those customers, usually they're just wanting to look a little bit more lifted. We also see almost 100% of the time asymmetrical.
correct.
So I tell everybody, I'm like, every single person, I don't care who you are, even when you go in and you get plastic surgery, because I was asking a lot of clients about this and they told me, well, the doctors can enhance more of what you have, but they don't necessarily go in and undo some of the asymmetry. In
Mhm.
extreme cases where you have like two cups off, they
Mhm.
may do a little bit more fill in or a larger implant on that side.
Right,
But for the most part, everybody is half cup to a full cup different.
right.
So I see that a lot. We also get a lot of kind of more of your shallow projection, and people don't realize that either, where you may have a lot of fullness and you might need an F cup just because your breast tissue goes all the way out to the side and not necessarily forward. So,
Hmm.
like, I'm one of those people, I tell people all the time, I'm like, I'll wear a USJ cup. I'm going to look like a double D to you
Right.
if you're not familiar, because I'm going to be teardrop shaped. So lower, like see if I put my hands on here and you see how much coverage I
Yeah.
need. It's all in the bottom and to the side. So actually like full coverage balconettes are great for me. They kind of help me fill in here and give me a really lovely shape and lift. But I do still need that cup for all of that.
Right. I like how you discussed that a lot of women are so used to seeing what's in the media and everything, but I feel like you hit the nail on the head with that because so many women they're so quick to say like, "Oh, my breasts are so weird" or "My breasts are that," and I mean, I'm always wanting to go for the positives. So it's like, don't speak bad about your body. You're gonna speak positively about it. Like these are your breasts and it's just how they're made. And it's not that they need to be compared to anyone else's, but especially when it comes to asymmetry, having to realize like that's something that's really common amongst
Right,
women, and they just think it's just some like, oh yeah, like I just can't find anything, or there's a
right.
solution for it, and there are solutions even for the more extreme cases too.
Absolutely. And there's always an apology with that, right? Like, I think that's so funny that women come in, and I've done content about it before,
Mhm.
where their first reaction, instead of like to seek knowledge and to seek like a solution for the issue, is to just say, I'm so sorry that you're fitting me right now and you're having to deal with this issue. And it's like, girl, like, we see this every day, all the
Yeah,
time. I might do 20 fittings in one day, back to back to back to back. And I guarantee you, every single one of those women has some degree of asymmetry, or they might have a shape that they're not used to seeing, but that actually exists really commonly.
right. They like some of them feel a sense of comfort, like, oh, really? Like there are
Yeah,
a lot of people like this. And
absolutely.
yeah, some might still be like, mine are, and they're like, yeah, this one right here, this was my crazy one, and all sorts of stuff.
She's got a mind of her own. I hear that
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, you hear stuff like that all the time. And it's like, well, we all have one that's a little bigger. And, when you see the fitting, you be like, okay, this one's your fuller side and this one
Right,
isn't. So, it's okay. It's very normal.
right.
So,
And
yeah, I just
no,
need,
I hear you. It's really interesting though, because I always tell people, and I know you guys have done some things about like the history of bras in
right.
past episodes before. When you really look at the bra as like a modern day invention, it is just that it's a modern day invention. Bras have really only been around for like 100 years.
Hmm.
So when you think about the way things change and what we need, we're probably in the best time right now where the companies are paying attention to more things. They're releasing a lot of content about how breasts are shaped and how we all have different needs. And then we're finally even just getting caught up in terms of sizing. Like there's more work to be done, but I feel like I've never seen, and I've been doing this for like 20 years now, I've never seen more variety as far as companies that are out there and products that they're making to tailor to different breasts than right now.
Right. I was just thinking the same thing. Like, and you do make a valid point with it being just 100 years, and even just thinking about
Mm-hmm.
just anything else in the world right now that's only 100 years old or less, and
Right.
just thinking back about things that are older and seeing how they've evolved over the years. So it's like, give the bra some time. I feel like they
Absolutely.
caught up pretty quickly actually for modern
I
day.
think so.
Yeah, I feel like the industry is doing a really good job at listening and paying attention to the needs of women, before women just do away with bras altogether.
Right, right. Absolutely. And think about like, I don't know if you remember, like, I feel like even 10 years ago, even like G cup was like a new and hot thing because everything was D, double D, triple D, you know what I mean? Or like F cup, what it translates into. So it was like when stores started even carrying G cup, it was like, oh my gosh. But even then, you could only get like these very boring, black and nude,
Mhm.
completely plain. And so now again, just to reference like the envy, with that being my favorite bra, that's your UK double G, which is the J cup. And
Right,
I don't feel like I always had that option. And I know this bra's been around for a while, but I didn't know about it at least
right.
until a couple of years ago. So it's in regular rotation for me now. But like I love this bra. This is from Prima Donna.
Yeah.
And we know as a company, they've been around since like 1860 something, right? But
Mhm.
like, were they always making this
No.
in like this H cup with the lace overlay and the little bow and the band and everything? And now this is really common.
Right.
They have huge collections all the time with that sizing.
Yeah. Thank God for the evolution of bras for sure.
Absolutely. But it's good too because like with you doing the content and the podcast and kind of the way that you operate your business too is just like allowing more people to have access to all of that.
Right. And it's so much because a lot of women just don't know. So that's why we have to do the good work and spread it all out there because people expect, like, oh, you're a woman, and stuff. It's like, no, you encounter a lot of women who's like, oh, I was never taught about this. It was just like, oh, just
Right.
on or something. And they don't, even in adulthood, don't know, oh, the number means this and the letter means that. So,
Right.
it's so much there's such a lack of education out there when it comes to that, and that's an important part of our day-to-day lives. Our breasts, they're there to stay. So it's like,
Right there.
yeah, they're part of
Wake up
you.
and they're there.
whether you like it or not. It's like, wake up in the morning, they're here.
I
So
know. And
it's
don't you
important
think
to
though
know.
that like sometimes that relationship when we have people that come in and they're like, I hate my breasts. I wish I could just cut them off right now. Like
Mhm.
it's just because they don't have what they need to have that appreciation and
Right.
to have comfort. Because you know what, if I was walking around and something was causing me extreme pain all the time. Like I got into bra fitting when I was like 18 or 19. So I really haven't had to experience some of these issues. And I have experienced some because
Right.
I'm kind of more small banded and full busted, but not to the extent of like you have women that are in their 60s and 70s that have never had a proper fitting bra. And I can even see how it warps the breast tissue a little bit. And I'm like, if I had something like that that caused me pain for 60 years of my adult life, I would hate my breasts too. It's understandable.
I can definitely understand that, and you do have the women that's like, oh, honestly, I just want to get a reduction and all that. And it's like, and in a lot of cases, of course, reductions are necessary in some cases. You have some
For
extreme cases,
sure.
and ultimately, it's up to the owner of the breast what they want to do with them. That's also the
Right.
factor. But
Absolutely.
yeah, for some women, it's like you really just needed a properly fitting bra, and you would be okay.
Right. Right.
And instead of feeling all that hatred towards your breast, you know?
Right. No, I hear you. And to us, it's so it seems so simple. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, look, if you come into where I work, I've got literally hundreds of bras, right? Carry over 150 sizes. Like, we're going to get you fixed up. It's extremely rare. I think I had only one instance where the customer, I think I calculated it out, and she might have been like an S cup, where there was not necessarily a fix, but we got her the proper resources to
Right.
get in contact with people that could make her a bra, right?
Right.
But it's so simple because, like, literally 99% of whoever walks in those doors, we can set you up with the solution,
Right.
whether it's a perfect solution, whether it's exactly what you had in mind, maybe or maybe not. But I think that you will leave happy. So it seems really simple. But I think a lot of people get like worked up in their head because if you don't know that, okay, I have this request, so maybe I might like a Polish bra versus like a UK fit.
Right.
Then it might seem like, oh, I've come all this way and it's still hopeless. And I just had a girl in the other weekend that's what she was trying to describe to me. She's like, most underwires come out too far. Like, I feel like I'm more close set and I just can't get that gore close enough. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh, that's easy. I was like, you're wearing your band too big, you're wearing your cup too small, and you need a Polish bra because you need a more narrow, kind of U-shaped underwire that's going to give you that projection that you're looking for. So I put it on her and she's like, that's it? I'm like, yeah, that's it.
That's
I'm
it.
sorry you've been looking for this for like 2, 3 years and we got you fixed up in 5 minutes.
Just so simple. So, another question is what you have a lot of women that are, when it comes to bra fitting, the bras for the breasts and everything. But the same way that women are like, oh, I hate my breasts or I just want to cut them off. The other thing that they hate a lot that comes up with the bra fitting is the back fat and the underarm fat.
The
Yeah.
back fat.
Yeah. So once upon a time, a woman, what's her name on Instagram? I think she's in the UK somewhere. Is it Fuller Bus, Fuller,
Okay.
you know what I'm talking about? Fuller
Yeah,
Bus.
they have a lot of full bus content creators. They,
Yeah, but I can't she's like an OG one and I can't it's like
yeah.
Fuller Bus, Fuller something. But she has she was getting a corset made by someone.
Mhm.
And I remember in the video while she was talking about it, she was just like, yeah, the back fat, well, it has to go somewhere. So basically just saying like, yeah, of course you have a corset, you're pulling in. Of course if you have some back fat, it's gonna like sit on top of the corset. And it's just like, yeah, it's gonna go somewhere. And that's just that. Like, no, she was basically saying, she's not worried about it, just gotta go somewhere. So, what would you say to women about that? I know it could be such a thing because it's like, okay, so we're really here for your breasts and not your back, but well, your back in a sense because of the support,
Yeah.
but not the back fat.
The back fat comes up every day, all the time, and it's hard because I still don't have the correct words for it. But it's it's a different conversation with everybody, right? But I try to remind people, it's just like my cheeks. Like if I push on my cheeks, you see, it's going to go up like that. I just happen to have this shaped face, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Um, we're soft, right? So anywhere we push on our bodies, we're soft tissue. We're not kind of hard plastic like the mannequins. If I put a bra on the mannequin, it's going to sit on there regardless of if it's too tight or too loose. But for us, when we're in the real world and we're moving about and we need our bra to fit, I ask the customers, and I think you came in here and you said that your main priority is fit and that you would do anything to really just have that comfort. So, one of those things is we might have to get just a little bit sticking out here. But remember, when they're also trying on the bra, it's brand new. The elastic is firm, and in a good quality bra, you want a firm elastic. So we have to think, 3, 4 weeks ahead in the future when this breaks in, and maybe it's not pushing in as much. But to what you were referring to, it's got to go somewhere. If I pour water into a glass, it has to go somewhere. It's going to take the soup. And if I pour more water than there is glass, sometimes it gets that little thing where it looks like it's going to spill over and it doesn't quite. And again, I apologize because I do not have the right words all the time for what we want to talk about. But I think as women, we just have to understand it's a small sacrifice in the meanwhile to really have the ultimate comfort where you can really forget about your bra. Sorry,
Right.
that was a little long-winded.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, it's a thing that, like you say, you hear like every day, and even from people who have like, I don't know, it looked like this or something like that's your back fat. It's like it looks
Seriously, we
like
get women all the
it.
time that are like super duper fit. I'm talking about they're hitting the weights, beautiful figures, and they still see a little bit of it in there, and it will kind of overtake everything else that we've done.
Yeah.
So it's part of it too is just kind of like resetting the brain. I try to manage expectations with clients. One of the first things I do in a fitting is I ask to see them in their bra, and I will ask them to turn around, and I'll kind of grab a little bit off the back band and say, how long have you had your bra? Like, is this typically kind of how tight you like to wear it? And we'll go into the conversation of, now, what I'm going to put you in is going to be a little bit firmer. It might even press in a little bit. It might even leave marks for a little bit, when you're wearing it. But this is what we have to do to kind of get to the end result or the goal of, the beautiful natural lift.
Right. That is definitely 100% true.
Yes.
And a lot of times, even transitioning from a bra that, that they've been wearing for so many years, you have women with teenagers that are like, I'm still wearing my nursing bra.
Yeah.
So, yeah, things like that.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, so it's like, okay, this bra is gonna feel a little more firm because it's not 16 years old. So
Exactly.
you have to, they're like, oh, like I could feel it. It's like, okay, you can feel it because the other one was falling off of you or something. So yeah, it is a reset of the mind, like you said, and you really just have to, it's part of like that education factor that we talked about
Right.
and just them understanding how it's supposed to fit and how they're supposed to reach that end goal, like you said.
Yeah.
And yeah, the most fit of women, everyone, they're just like, oh, and you say it kind of like takes away from what you just accomplished. So it's like you have this beautifully fitting bra, your breasts are properly supported, everything is together, your back has support, everything is just great. But then it's like this, I my underarm fat or my back, it kind of, so it's like I always say also like, well, who's looking back there?
That is true. That's true. Who's following you around going, oh, she's got a bulge in her
Right. Like,
t-shirt?
are people
In that case, you're staring too hard.
yeah, and also it's your back is your business. But it's just
Absolutely.
like when you're from the front and you're seeing yourself, and if you're and from the side and your body, you feel like you have the support and lift that you need and everything. Trust me, no one's worried about your back.
Right, right. And we tell everybody they're going to notice when you go somewhere, and I hear from my customers all the time. It's like when you go and you get a new bra, people notice. People see that. They see the lift, they see the confidence. I'm like, girl, my back is behind me. Like whatever's going on back there, I don't notice. And if I walk by a mirror and I happen to catch a glimpse, I might stop for a second and then I'm like, hold on. I have been running around all day at work for 6 hours, and that's the first time I noticed that. But I haven't noticed my bra and how my bra feels. And to me, that's the win,
That's
right? It's like if you can walk around and your bra is you're not doing the,
yeah,
all of
constant
that.
adjusting.
Yeah, it's a win.
Yeah, I'm here with you 100%. So hopefully, we can get a little more women to get on board with that and understand that that's the goal. And I mean, they think about, of course, there's so many things they advertise in the media where it's like, oh, are you tired of back fat? And even you'll see this is false advertisement on some things for sure, because they'll show like this really
Hmm.
busty woman or someone who is what can I say? A lot whose body is a lot larger than the product
Hmm.
that they even carry, but they just use
Right.
that person to catch people's attention because it's like, oh,
Right.
someone watching it looks like that. And I'm like, yeah, I want it. And then you get it and it doesn't fit because here's the catch. They don't make something for that size.
Right.
But yeah, they're just like, oh, you tired of that back fat? And then it's just something. And it's not to say that it can't work for some people, but
Right.
it's not for everybody for sure. And some of it doesn't, like maybe it smooths out back fat, but the front isn't
But then it
properly
does nothing
shaped.
up here, right?
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
like,
we're never going to get 100% of everything that we want. And I've worked with companies that have done photo shoots and things where I've been present as a stylist. I don't think people realize how curated those images are,
right.
right? So like if they're taking pictures of something, they're probably going to pick a model that it really wasn't meant to wear that. Like if you're doing formal wear and the dress is a four, they may pick a model that's like a 0 or 00, and then they're going to clamp all that, but they're not showing you the picture of the clamps in the back. They're just showing you the picture of the beautiful front because they're going to do whatever they have to do. They're going to, stuff the inserts in her bra to give her fullness. And then when they take a picture of the back, they're going to turn around and clamp the front. And
Mhm.
show they're not going to show you that part. So um, companies can do whatever they want with whatever images. And I think we have to be careful as consumers to understand that um, we need to really pick what's best for us and not constantly be trying to make it look like whatever that advertisement is. The advertisement is meant to sell to you.
Mhm.
It's meant to sell to you. And that's why, like, as a bra fitter, I tell people, yeah, I mean, I sell stuff when I'm at work, but I'm the bra fitter and the educator first. That's my job first. If you want to come in and buy $1,000 because you're happy with my service, my education, that's awesome. But my main priority is to make sure that you walk out with a supportive bra. And if that supportive bra leaves a little bit of back fat or leaves a little bit of this underarm part hanging out, if we have 95% beautiful fit everywhere else, I've done my job.
Right. Because I mean, if you lifestyle changes can alter that back fat and underarm fat in an instant, and your breasts are still gonna be your breasts. And sometimes they
Absolutely.
change, sometimes they don't. But like with those alter, you never know. So, and that's
Right.
why I have to get regular bra fittings. But of course. Um,
Hmm.
so, of course, this has been great and very positive, but we always ask for our guests to leave some words of positivity. So maybe you have some words of positivity or positivity for the new year for our viewers. Like and it doesn't even have to be bra or breast related, but what are some words of positivity that you would love to leave with?
I would love everybody, to know just take care of yourself. I feel like as women, we never really prioritize. us above others, whether it's our friends, our family, our children, our partners. And I think that's why we end up in these situations where we have the 16-year-old nursing bra that's just barely hanging on by a thread. It's
Right.
because we're not taking care of ourselves. So I want everybody to think about what is one thing I can do for myself this year to prioritize my health, whether it's physical health, mental well-being, just anything, or even like, you know what, if you want to go like take dance lessons because you think that's going to make you happy, like just do it. But think about going back to how can I take care of myself this year? I really want to see women um, just stand up more, and I think when women are happier, the world's a happier place, right? Because like we run this stuff.
True.
Nobody wants to
Very
say
true.
it, but
Very
but
true.
we
We'll
run
say
this
it.
stuff.
We'll say it. We know.
Absolutely.
Okay, I really love that. And that's something great to go into for the new year. Also, can you share where people can find you?
So I work as a bra fitter at Top Drawer Lingerie. We are in Uptown Park in Houston, Texas. It is a brick and mortar store, but I'm also on Instagram at Fitted by Frieda, and Frieda is Frieda. I've had a lot of requests to do just like virtual consultations or questions. I'm always open. I may not get back to you right that second, but I will do whatever I can to help you out with whatever inquiries you have.
Of course, and she most definitely will. So, thank you again for joining today, Frida. It's been so great. I love again the drawings that you did on the whiteboard. Something I
Thank
can
you.
accomplish in a million years. It just looks, it's just not my thing. I cannot draw.
I will
So,
draw boobs for you any day, my friend.
yes, thank you, because those are just so great, and I'm sure everyone can look at it as a reference chart, like, oh yeah, my breasts look just like this, they look just like that, and you really take notes. So thank you so much for the visual aids here, and just for sharing all of your greatness with BoobTube. And I know that the viewers will love it. So I'm happy for you to just share all of your greatness with
Oh,
BoobTube.
thank you so much.
Of
And you
course.
are so great too. So,
Thank you.
just I mean, it's so funny because I was telling Dal, the owner of Top Drawer, I was like, oh, I was like, somebody should like get in a van or a bus and like go to people and do fittings. And he's like, there is somebody that does that. And I'm like, oh, of course there is.
Well, yeah, for sure, because a lot of people, it comes in handy for a lot of people. And then,
For
of course,
sure.
I mean, you still have a lot of people that like the brick and mortar stores too. So it's just about what the customer wants, really, I guess. But
Absolutely. But you have some people that just aren't going to come into the brick and mortar or just for whatever mobility reasons or health or
yeah,
whatever can't come in. So I think it's a great service.
definitely had like some older women too. Like some people's like, okay, I'm gonna send you to my mom. She's in a wheelchair and all these things. So it works
Yeah.
out in a lot of cases like that for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Wonderful.
oh,
Thank you for having me. We got to do it again. We got to do like an in-person thing. So we're in the same city,
yeah.
we just have not been in each other's presence.
Yes, we'll have to figure something out for sure. Still brainstorming. If you figure it out, let me know because I'm like I haven't had it just yet. But I mean, I was like for sure boob tube, but I had to think about the rest for
Absolutely.
sure. So just let me know whoever comes up with it first. But we do have to do something. Yeah. Well,
All right. Thank you so much. Again, this was such a pleasure chatting with you.
of course, thank you.